Well, there's really nothing much, but there's insanity and obscenity going on. I got a phone call from a Nigerian young man who's been here for 20 years. I think he has seen the first article that no Nigerians will be deported anymore. So they've read and they've sensitized their mind. Like I said, freedom and sovereignty is in discrepancy. Freedom is when you allow the will to decide your destiny upon your sovereignty is when you are allowed the will to decide your destiny upon yourself. And freedom is unlocking the code of knowledge. So every persons of the Commonwealth has been crying for freedom, but because I have unlocked the code of knowledge and I've given them their freedom automatically, so the knowledge they lack and the knowledge that is unlocked with the International Bill of Patriot Mandates, sanity is becoming the order of the day. So many people has been calling the office of the Independent Diplomat Commission, which is powered by the Commonwealth Liberation Party also, because both of them are in alliance. We said to them, when a system that the greatest abuse, when the greatest abuse is oppressive injustice, and oppressive injustice is chartered by law, then is a situation where the voice of justice is silenced. When the greatest abuse is oppressive injustice, and oppressive injustice is chartered by law, then the voice of justice is silent. Because leadership insanity wants to destroy, wreck, and burn humanity. But for the first time, we will use humanity formula. We would use mathematical formula to solve this solution. The white man should know that freedom has been given to the colored people. The white man should know the freedom of the colored people do not need to come from them, because freedom is unlocking the code of knowledge. And the knowledge I give them means that for the first time, they can take their destiny into their hands, and in their destiny, they will be wise for themselves. And because of the wiseness I have brought to them through education, it means that the white man can no longer abuse any colored people, because the knowledge they have and the knowledge they heed from the colored people is a knowledge that the colored people have received now, which automatically means that the colored people are more intelligent than them. They have been the masters holding the whip, but for the first time, the whip will be taken away from the white man, and the white man will be whipped heavily, because they have foolishly, stupidly, disgracefully, gullibility bring shame to the British kingdom. And because the spirit of the greatest and the greats that built the British Empire are awake for war, this era will be put to shame. The children of this British Empire of the 21st century has brought shame upon this kingdom. The spirit of Queen Elizabeth and the ghost of King John and the ancestors that founded the Commonwealth nation are at war with their children. And for the first time, the ancestors of this land, from the voice of the abyss and the voice in their grave, I bring their message to the physical world. Their message they say to me to tell the physical world is, we at war with our children. The gods and the spirit of the lands are angry, because the children of grace must be at peace. So it is not just only giving them that stupid paper that is a piece of paper. Their wasted destinies will be remunerated. So for the first time, for every son of the Commonwealth nation who has come to this land, and spent 1 year of their life having evidence that they paid Home Office money to be allowed to stay in this country, and Home Office took their money, that is justice robbery, and did not give them their paper, that is justice robbery. For all those actions that Home Office have done, each child of the Commonwealth, each Nigerian child will be paid 250,000 pounds a year, multiplied by the number of years they were never allowed to stay in this country. What that simply means is the piece of paper and the passport is nothing, because it is valued nothing. Visa is a sham, Immigration Act is a sham, and immigration law is a sham. The ancestor says, even when we give you the passport, which is your right, because your right to travel cannot even be withheld, because the animals, the fishes, are not denied their free will to rotate in their animal kingdom, because at every season nature tells them where to go and where not to go for them to be able to find their sustenance. So from scientific investigation, the fish migrate from one settlement to another settlement of the year, and in the next season they travel. In the animal kingdom, the lion, the goats, the horses, they will migrate from one aspect of the world to another aspect of the settlement, and after another settlement they resurface back to the place they were originally, in the quest of food and sustenance to survive. So since animal that has no brain cannot be limited by their route to travel, then no man can limit another man's free will, liberty to travel freely. So whoever initiated visa scheme, whoever initiated Immigration Act, they are all mentally unwell. So the children of the colored the colored people should know the ancestors have spoken. We will give you the visa, we will give you the passport, we will give you everything. The border shall be open. But when you get this passport, it means nothing. Throw it under the bed. What we shall bring to you is the honors, because 1 year of your wasted life cannot be comprehended. And the voice from the spirit world says, cry not and fear not. My children have abused and dehumanized your worth as a person, as a value, as an entity. For that pain they've caused upon you, we as a government, we will pay you 250,000 pounds a year, multiplied by the number of years you were never allowed to stay in this greatest land. That is your land, that is your birthright. Now, much as we say these words to you, we shall pay you 250,000 a year. You are children, you are Commonwealth, you are blood, you are heritage. You may think, how possible is that? 250,000 a year per person? It simply means it is not impossible, because we have spoken through the voice of an knowledgeable Professor Alexia Thomas. It is for real. What it simply means is we had applied a formula. This formula is called the Rooney ratio. Rooney ratio simply means if Rooney the footballer can earn 350,000 pounds a week, I repeat, if Rooney the footballer can earn 350,000 pounds a week for playing rubbish football, for playing nonsense football, for playing football that brings nothing changes in the humanity, in the human life, other than for the purpose of eye catchment, of just people watching football. If Rooney, an illiterate, can earn 350,000 a week, how much can we say to a man whose 1 year of his life has been wasted? So we shall give you 250,000 pounds a year. Now, 250,000 pounds a year multiplied by the number of years you were never allowed to stay in this country. So if we give you 250,000 a year, it is not up to a man who earns 350,000 a week, and that is what is called the Magna Carta compensation scheme. Magna Carta has been breached. Magna Carta has been broken. Magna Carta is the freedom of a man's free will, liberty to be free. King John, the father of freedom, settled the rights of the Commonwealth citizens in the 12th century. When Magna Carta was signed as a law 1215, Magna Carta gave United Kingdom their rights as free people. They asked the king, give us our rights. The barons held the king to ransom, and for the first time United Kingdom were given their right to be free people of the world. And since the day they got that right, the Commonwealth people got their right automatically to be free men of women of the world. So since the 12th century, the Commonwealth people have been free themselves, and unfortunately 800 years later, Magna Carta has been breached, and the spirit of Magna Carta and the ghost of King John is at war with his children, the British Empire, because the British Empire think the Commonwealth people are servant and slave. They can still continue to kill them and dehumanize them the way they did them in the 10,000th century, the way they did to them in 11th century ago. But unfortunately, it has come to an end because the code of knowledge has been locked. Magna Carta has been breached, and Magna Carta demands free will, liberty to be free, has been broken. For the first time, the spirit of the gods must be appeased, and the only way to appease the spirit of the god is that every man who has been deported since 1965 to 2018 should keep all their books together, because the Magna Carta compensation scheme will be coming to them in 2018. So there is so much coming for them. They should cry not. Every Nigerian man who finds themselves to have been deported will be compensated heavily. Now, much as I would have said to you, they are busy organizing their Cobra meeting. We also are busy studying the situation to know how to create a formula, a mathematical formula to find a solution. I got a call. A lady called Mrs. Ngeri, the deputy immigration. I was told that she came into immigration detention center. She's been going around the immigration detention center. She goes there and gathers the Nigerians as a flock. And when she comes there, the Nigerians are happy to see her, thinking somebody who is part of us have come to protect them. But rather, she says to them, as the Nigerians complain to her, she will say to them, you are in Nigeria, you have to go home. And she goes to her office and she issues travel certificates to the immigration. Deputy immigration officer Mrs. Ngere could not have come to the detention center without her boss, the chief immigration officer. I'm speaking to them now. They are traitors to the Nigerian people. I asked them within the next 72 hours they should resign from those jobs, because the Nigerian uprising will stand. And if the Nigerian uprising stands, the Nigerian embassies will need to be closed down, because the act of Mrs. Ngere means that Nigerian federal government is automatically ordered to close Nigerian embassy down for the time being, giving us enough time to resolve this madness, because we would use the formula of international federalistic political approach, because Nigeria is supposed to be a house of safety, but because it is a decoy, because it's not a house of safety, what normally would be the role is immigration will go to Nigerian embassy and Nigerian embassy will close their doors at them. Now there's a propaganda Nigerians will no longer be deported, even though it was a declaration. But as Cobra meeting is going, what will give Mrs. Ngere the power to go to detention and meet Nigerians there? And the Nigerians are lamenting, we've been here for 30 years. Ngere said they should go. And the Nigerians told me, they told Ngere, have you not heard of Professor Alexia Thomas fighting for us? She said, oh, she's not heard it. They gave her the news article. She said she will read it. On a Monday, because she came and saw them on a Friday, they called her. She said she cannot do anything, but rather all they got is they've been getting tickets to be taken on a chartered flight for the 24th. Ngere is a traitor, Ngere is automatically guilty of criminal offense. Ngere needs to be demoted and returned. The Ministry of External Affairs needs to withdraw Ngere's appointment. They need to withdraw the appointment of the chief immigration officer and the deputy immigration officer. They need to return them back home. They need to go back home to face the criminal court squarely. This is absurd. This is insanity. This is abuse. This is abuse on humanity. Mrs. Ngere is a lunatic and she's mentally unwell. For the first time, we will teach her a lesson. And that is what it's going to be. Ngere is giving them... Yeah?
But we are aware that the acting ambassador of Nigeria to UK issued warning to the UK immigration not to deport Nigerians. Like, after they received the international bill of patriot mandate, and they gave them warning, and that is not deport. We are surprised that today, now a deputy immigration officer in Nigeria embassy in London here could now go ahead and be going to
detention center.
Yes.
Because you see, government bureaucracy is ghostly operation. So yes, the deputy the acting, don't forget they call him the acting because they are not really sure whether it's going to be the head. So Ngere has been there even before the acting was appointed. That is why the grand servant have been there for donkey years. So when you appoint a headship over them, they are still the one running the operation. So the acting immigration officer may have made the pronouncement, but Ngere still think is the usual politics, where they play it and then go and convince their heads to say this is how it has always been done. So let's just do it this way. Because Ngere act is espionage, and espionage is a criminal offense. So Ngere would need to be returned back to Nigeria immediately, and the Ministry of External Affairs needs to summon him. First of all, there's even nothing to summon. First of all, she has to be demoted and returned back to Nigeria because she is a traitor. She's the enemies of the Nigerian people. How dare you go to detention center? Going there would have been to give them assurance nothing was happening. Rather, you pack them together as a flock, and you've been issuing deportation for them to be deported on the 24th. This is madness. I cannot believe. Ngere has to be returned to Nigeria. For the time being, I believe the only way this matter can be dealt with, Nigerian embassy in London must be closed first of all. Federal government has no choice. I call on Buhari now to suspend all activities in London, and they need to set their Cobra meetings immediately. If Buhari does not close Nigerian embassy will be on fire, because the code of knowledge has been unlocked. Nigerian citizens will stand for themselves. The uprising will stand. So the only way now is the international federalistic approach. Nigerian embassy needs to be closed down in London for the time being. There shall be no operation until the international federalistic approach is used. Now, in the international federalistic approach, I send a strong warning to the British government, and I send a strong warning to the Virgin Airline. Virgin Airline is owned by Sir Richard Branson. Ignorance is not an excuse in law. I have brought the knowledge through the International Bill of Patriot Mandate. So the pilot cannot say he's in denial. So the plane for the 24th must not leave United Kingdom and make a mistake to carry any Nigerian citizens to Nigeria, because when we use the international federalistic approach, the pilot who conveys them will be arrested at the airport. So the Virgin Airline is seriously warned. On the 24th of November, they are not allowed to carry migrants on a chartered flight into the shores of Nigeria. Because what that will mean, Virgin Airlines will be seized at the airport. The Nigerians so the pilot will be arrested. Why the pilot is arrested? The only way that can make Virgin Airlines leave is that they will bring another pilot to drive that plane back to United Kingdom. But the main pilot who knowingly know the truth, know the treaty, know that Article 9, 13 and 15, if breach is a confederalism crime, and still decides to carry Nigerians to Nigeria, from United Kingdom to Nigeria, that pilot should know now they will be guilty of espionage. They will be guilty of treason. They will be guilty of aiding and abetting, and they'll be guilty of conspiracy. We would use the international federalistic approach to solve this insanity of political gangsterism once and for all. Political bureaucratic gangsterism once and for all. So as the pilot enters the shores of Nigeria without the international court, in Nigeria, justice will be upheld. The pilot will be arrested and straight away taken into custody. The only way the pilot will be released, the pilot will need to bring, the airline will need to bring £500,000 to get bail, to get the pilot. That will be a penalty fee. £500,000. If the airline cannot produce £500,000 in 72 hours, it will be extended to another 48 hours for them to produce £500,000 for the pilot to be released. If they don't comply within the next 5 days, the pilot will be charged to the magistrate court. Because law is advocate of truth, there will be no need dilly dally or getting a pilot a barrister. The judge already know the treaty has been breached. So taking the pilot to the criminal court is just to pronounce judgment and is just to pronounce conviction and judgment. There's no trial. Once the pilot is after, so you only have 5 days to bring the penalty fee of 500,000, or the pilot gets taken to the criminal justice court, only to be sentenced. And if the pilot is sentenced, the pilot will get 3 years imprisonment in a Nigerian cell. Once the pilot is sentenced to 3 years imprisonment, what will happen will be, because since the treaty has been breached, it's automatically a criminalizing crime. There's no need for trial. All you're just taking him to court is to sentence straight away. Once the pilot is sentenced, at that point the pilot will need to serve 3 years in a Nigerian jail, because the pilot is already a criminal. Even before being taken to court, he's already a criminal, because he knows the laws had already made the laws he has breached. So if he gets convicted, what will then happen is, if the sentence gets pronounced, the airline would only be able to get him not to serve that prison sentence until they pay the Nigerian Immigration Border Control £3 million. So the pilot will genuinely do his prison term. Only the option that will make him not to serve a prison term is the airline gets to pay £3 million. That is when the pilot will be released. Abuja have no choice to adhere to the mandate, because a criminal offense has been committed to Nigeria as a nation. Injustice to one is injustice to all. From 24th, if any pilot conveys any Nigeria, I give pronouncement and commandments today. Is an order. The immigration at the Lagos border or Abuja border, once they have a sight through their binocular lens, the Nigerians are being dropped from the airport, they should swim and drive swiftly to the plane, take the pilot down. As they are taking the pilot down, they should handcuff him, and as they are handcuffing him, they should broadcast it immediately. It's a serious warning. That's what is called the international federalistic political approach. Because if crime is committed, there is no diplomacy anymore. There's no diplomacy anymore.
How many Nigerians do you think are in those detention centers they plan to deport on the 24th of November?
Yeah. It's chartered flights. So there could be 500. It's a chartered flight. That is why if Sir Richard Branson does not want his airline from next week not to participate, we will wreck Charles Richard Branson. Charles Richard Branson's empire will collapse, because that means that his empire is founded upon dehumanization of man. So we are at war with Virgin Airline, because Sir Richard Branson needs to get his book right. If he wants to keep his riches, I think he should take his airline out of this game, because the game is over since the day the International Bill of Patriot Mandate came out.
Don't you think that this Mrs. Ngere, the Deputy Immigration Officer at the Embassy in London, in UK, she has been in this kind of espionage traitor against Nigerian people for a long time?
It has been going on since 2008. There's an chief immigration officer called Mr. Ogosi. Mr. Ogosi started this crazy act 2008. Ogosi started by taking 10,000 pounds per deportation to deport Nigerians. I spoke with Ogosi. How dare you?
From who?
His name is Mr. Ogosi. Ogosi was the chief immigration officer in 2008 in United Kingdom. And Ogosi is the chief immigration officer, and then you have the other man called Mr. Oniwo. Mr. Oniwo is the minister of welfare. So Nigerians cried to me. I've been in this underground battle since 2008, fighting Nigeria as idiots.
Now, how does Mr.
Ogosi started it all. Ogosi started by taking 10,000 pounds to get Nigerian to give immigration boys deportation certificate to deport Nigerians. And when immigration saw that the money was too much, they now started giving Ogosi 3,500 pounds to get travel certificates.
3,000 pounds to get certificate of deportation to the.
First of all, in 2006, before the investigation came to my commission, that was why they set me up and sent me to prison. But they did not know that I will end up becoming the greatest and owning a political party. In 2008, I heard the tears of Nigerians. It was so annoying. Ogosi, I was told, takes 3,500 pounds. So for every deported Nigeria, 3,500 pounds has been taken.
Who gave him the money? Who gave him the
Immigration, UK border agencies are contractors. The border territorial contract of United Kingdom was given to a private contractor, which are called the UK Border Agency. And I think the UK Border Agency previously was owned to an American. So I decided to start petitioning the British government, which was then in the handship of Gordon Brown, the retired prime minister. And I said, why will the border territorial contract be given to a private contractor? The police are there, the armies are there, the navies are there. You cannot give the border territorial contract to marshals when a proper institutionalized armed forces are on ground. Armed forces have no job now because there's no war. You cannot give the UK Border Agency this contract. It makes no sense. So I kept fighting because I saw the destruction of the Commonwealth nation. I saw the apocalypse of Judaism coming, and I knew that if I don't do something extraordinary, these marshals will lobby the government to give them access to hold gun, and they will start entering the houses of every black man, finding them, even shooting them down, because they want to torment, destroy humanity. So I saw that these marshals, who are not a proper institution, they are contractors. How can the government allow a big border as United Kingdom to be given to the marshals? I saw anarchy. I saw destruction. I saw war against humanity. And I knew the marshals were going to start lobbying for access to all ammunition. So what will happen, they will come to the house of the black people. They will say, open the door. As the black man tries to defend themselves, they will shoot them down, and they will say the black man was a threat to them. So I saw the destruction in 2008, because the eyes that sees the wind cries with the wind. I was terrified with what I was seeing in the abyss. So it was time to do something. So I started educating the government. You cannot give marshals the border territorial control. These boys, since they got this contract, the contract is so big. These boys became outlaw bandits because they felt they were uncontrollable. The energy was so much. They started setting up regulatory bodies, law society to be regulated. All these stupid, because all this started in 1980. It is something after the fall of Shagari regime. So they started preparing poisonous trap for the Commonwealth people. That was when they started. They knew the game was perfected. So the outlaw bandit boys thought, they were in control. And at that point, British government has started in a workable relationship with the EU. So as these outlaw bandits came into operation, the Commonwealth lawyers were terrified, because when they come abroad, they themselves are trying to feed themselves. So being told to regulate, do this, be under the watchful management of the state, in your eye, they will say you have to be under the watchful management of the state. You need a license. But because it's a legalized despotism, they want to take away the powers of the institution of the legal justice system. So they brought regulation. And then they brought what has to be observed as a law. That was when they brought the EU Union, the EU treaty. The EU treaty is not the Commonwealth, is not the Universal Treaty. EU treaty is for 28 European countries. Universal treaty is for 196 countries. Universal treaty is United Nations. EU treaty is Universal treaty was endorsed in 1948. But because after the Second World War, the EU were still burning with vexation to destroy the British Kingdom, they reenacted their own 1950 and copied their own constitution from the Universal Constitution of 1948. And then they formed their own wall of destruction. So the educational syllabus that lawyers were coming to the law school to learn in UK was taken off the social studies. So all they kept teaching them is European Union Treaty, and which was actually meant for European Union people, not for the Commonwealth nation. So this monstrous covert operation went for over 30 years. So the lawyers lost their mythology. The lawyers only have the name, I'm a lawyer. They don't know anything. Because the social studies of the Treaty of 1948 they were not allowed to see that as a studies. So they started destroying the Commonwealth people with these laws, deporting them since 1986, 87, 98, until I was reborn to unwake the mythology. And
what I want to ask you is that shows that the corruption, this kind of corruption, is it the Ngiri, Bosi, and the rest, they've been involved in kind of spectre.
Let me give you the lowdown of Ogosi. In 2008, I called Ogosi. You've been given deportation. So for every Nigerian who gets deported, Ogosi has taken £3,500. Ogosi, I told my secretary to facilitate the call to Ogosi. Ogosi, why are you doing this? Is there any reason why you are doing this? Ogosi said it is their country. If they don't want them, they have to go. I said, Ogosi, what do you mean is their country? If they don't want them, they have to go? That is not allowed. And I said to Ogosi, the UK immigration has their policies. For the first time, I established that policy cannot override treaty. So the UK immigration has been working with a working module. They've not been working with a constitution. They've not been working with a treaty. They've enacted their own policy and start forming. The Nigerian government has a constitution. The United Kingdom doesn't even have a constitution. So if United Kingdom doesn't have a constitution, why would they give a constitution to Nigeria to control them like fools? United Kingdom as a government does not use constitution. Do you understand me? United Kingdom does not use constitution because they unlock knowledge from the Commonwealth nation. They gave them a constitution that enforces them to do a will on the destruction of their people. So I said to Ogosi, the UK immigration have their policies on the internet, what they do, how they do, whatever, even when the policies is against the treaty. But at least with the policy, they compel you to think is the norm of the game. But because you lack knowledge, which means that you lack freedom, you lack knowledge. And because you lack knowledge, your freedom has been taken away. So they control you with traits of tyranny, and you cannot fight back. So I said to Ogosi, much as immigration, I can see their policies, even though they are sham policies. Tell me, what are the Nigerian Immigration Policies Act that tells you that on what relationship are you familiarizing with United Kingdom immigration? Don't forget that United Kingdom government is not United Kingdom immigration, because United Kingdom immigrations are marshals, private contractors. Do you understand me, George? So we are not dealing with a government, even though a government gives a rule, we are dealing with a marshals who just take laws upon themselves because they are outlaw bandits. So I said to Ogosi, what grounds are you working with the marshals? What is the constitutional act that you are using that gives you the bridge to work with the marshals? What are the policies you are what policies are you relying upon? Show me the acts on show me the act on book. I really need to understand what rule of law gives you the relationship to say that. Where is it written in the Nigerian book that says that the only way they can take a Nigerian out is because the British government doesn't want that the Nigerians should go? And I said to Ogosi, you are in trouble. So I wrote 20 questions for Ogosi, and Ogosi was summoned to answer those questions immediately. If he does not answer, I'll be reporting this matter to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and Ogosi needs to be demoted immediately. And then Ogosi's boss, which is the Minister of Welfare, Mr. Niwo started begging me that I should please don't be harsh on Ogosi. That Ogosi, if I inform the Ministry of External Affairs, Ogosi will lose his job. They will all lose their job, and they have children and family to feed. And I said back to Mr. Niwo, if you don't want to lose your job, these people you say you have a family, your children, what of these Nigerians? Do they not have the same rights like you? Oniwo said, we are going to make a deal with you. And I said to Oniwo, what is the deal? Oniwo said, tell me the deal you want, and we will settle this matter without the federal government knowing. And I said to Oniwo, the deal is simply revoke the travel certificates. Oniwo said, yes, we will do that. But we don't know how to write a diplomatic letter to revoke this thing. Write a letter for us. So for the first time, I wrote a letter for Mr. Oniwo. I could not imagine that as Nigerian high commissioners and their ministers cannot even write a proper diplomatic letter, because they fear these marshals, these immigration boys, like they are some gods. So Niwo made a deal with me in 2008, and I wrote a diplomatic letter for them, and they said to the immigration, we have revoked the travel certificates, you cannot deport Nigerians. And that letter, I have it with me. I can send that to you. It was in 2008. Do you want a copy of the letter?
I want a copy of the letter, please.
I will go into my file now. So we made a deal, and these Nigerians, Oniwo decided to form an association with Independent Diplomat Commission. Then it was still a company then, to go to prison and see these people for the first time. And that was how this cause was settled. I did not advance the matter further, and by the time I heard the voice again, Nigerians had renounced. Ngeri told me on the phone that they will not take the notice of renunciation and update their system. It is Abuja. They have to send it to Abuja. I laughed, and ever since then, Mr. Aminu of Nigerian Embassy has called me, but I refused to talk with them because I felt I needed to do further education. These boys don't know the law. Other high commissioners, when their citizens renounce for the purpose of consulates or a system or updating, everybody is running the database. The Nigerians just send their notice of renunciation to the Nigerian government to update their system. Not that they are no more compared by the Nigerian law because the Treaty of 1948 stands, but the marshals have been able to deceive Nigeria to enact it as a constitution of 1999, whereby every Nigerian man who renounces have to go to Mr. President to take permission. Presidents cannot be. Every man has a right of sovereignty, like the British Bill of Rights 1689 the British Bill of Rights 1689 give Parliament as a people their right to share power with British monarchical government. That same right is equal to the right of the citizen. So Mr. President is the president of Nigeria. He has his right of sovereignty. The same right of sovereignty he has, every Nigerian citizen also have their equal right of president, like Mr. President. So the 1999 constitution that said that Mr. President is the only person that can decide whether Nigerian renounce was a sham constitution, because the marshals brainwashed the immigration of the Nigeria, to have the Nigerian government put that as a constitution, and that is why they continue to abuse Nigerians. So Mr. President thinks he's the only one that can tell Nigerians you can then renounce. How do you, when you are abroad, why will a message go to Abuja and come back in 3 months when government civilization of 21st century means that Nigerian embassy is in London? They've renounced, they've gone to the court. All they need to do is to give to Mr. Ngere, update the computer. Ngere, 3 months made life miserable for them, that she will not update the system. They have to send it to Abuja. Ngere is mad. So I decided not to talk to them, because I felt that they don't even know the law. What you're telling me of the Constitution of 1999, we're talking of the Treaty of 1948, when Nigeria were still even slave. So a lot has been going on.
So as it is right now, you're asking for 4 things. Number one, you are telling Buhari you are giving him 72 hours to show Nigeria embassy in London. If it doesn't show that, the embassy in the world.
Yeah, the embassy will be on fire, and even the British government cannot stop it, because the Nigerian people themselves have sovereignty. And when the Nigerian people march to the Nigerian embassy, the British government cannot bring tank or gun or bullet to stop them, because they equally have the same right of sovereignty as the Nigerian president. The only difference is that one man will normally lead and manage the people for the purpose of sanity. But where the government now are becoming a traitor, then the rules of common sense will prevail. Now, because Nigeria is a sovereignty, and the acts of Ngeri shows that Nigerian government are not traitors to their citizens, the government of Nigeria cannot stop the uprising. When the uprising starts, United Kingdom cannot even take a gun or a bullet or a tear gas to go and stop it. Because why they cannot stop it is because the law has been breached, and the citizens uprising have to stand for themselves. And because the Nigerian government is a traitor to their citizens, if United Kingdom police was to go and stop them not to enter Nigerian house, you cannot stop a child not to enter into their father's house. So Nigerian the UK police cannot even near the scene. They will not even hear this thing, because it is not their sovereignty. It is citizens versus their government. And the constitution that was given to Nigeria is a sham, because the United Kingdom government does not use a constitution. So if the police was to come out and say they cannot go to the Nigerian house, it already means that the police has been ordered by a commander who is in a conspiracy with Nigeria. So the police themselves are not safe, because the police will be unleashed upon.
So I say right now that in 72 hours, if Buhari does not shut down that embassy in Nigeria embassy in London, that embassy will be on fire. It will be on fire.
Uprise.
It will be on fire over the embassy. That's the first question. Second question is you have answered already. Second one also there is that you're also giving Buhari 72 hours to demote and sack Ngeri.
Yeah.
Ngeri, and that's the immigration officer.
And we need to find Ogosi to give us financial statement of how much was taken on the heads of Nigeria for all deported Nigerians since 2008. We need to have a financial statement of the activities that happened in Nigerian immigration office in London.
You're also saying that Ogosi has been the kingpin.
Yeah.
Ogosi, who happened to be the top Nigerian officer in the embassy in 2008, have been collecting £3,500 of each of the head of Nigeria that have been deported.
Yes.
Working in liaison.
Yeah.
The UK border with the UK border agency.
The marshals. Always you remember to use the word. They are marshals. They are not a formidable institution.
Yes, they are working through them. I've been liaising with the marshal by way of corruption.
Yes.
£3,500 on each head of Nigeria that have been deported since 2008.
So when I made life miserable for the Nigerian immigration in 2008, so the marshals now saw that now when the federal government demote Ngeri, then the minister of welfare Oniwo must be subpoena, because Oniwo is the one who begged me that I should please don't take this matter to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Ogosi has children. Ogosi will lose his job, and they will all lose their job. So Mr. Oniwo has to be subpoena to come and give evidence against Ogosi, because Mr. Oniwo is Minister of Welfare, who knew what Ogosi was doing. He also knew, but the powers and all the money. What I did not know is that what account was this money being paid into? Because Oniwo allowed Ogosi. Ogosi is the gun. Ogosi is the king.
Ogosi is the king. He's the gun in this matter. And the Oniwo knows all the methodology that Ogosi has been using to collect the money, £500 on each head of Nigerians 2008.
Yes.
So Oniwo, federal government should subpoena Oniwo to serve as a chief witness.
Yes.
Against Ogosi.
Yes.
On how they have corrupt Nigerian embassy, or how they have made life miserable for Nigerians in London, how they have been, working as espionage,
treason, espionage, treason, conspiracy, aiding and abetting.
With the marshals, in promoting Nigerians, making money on Nigerians' sweat and blood.
Yeah.
Nigerians will be deported against their wish, against their conscience, no matter what. And that's what they do right now. And that's the second thing you ask for. The third thing you ask Buhari is that right now you are saying that that Virgin Airlines should not be allowed from London to cargo Nigerians on 24th to Nigeria. But if it does that, there'll be a set of litigation. There'll be a lot of problems, and a lot of money, huge sums of money will be paid by the according to your earlier statement by Richard Branson, Virgin Atlantic Airlines, and the Nigerian security operators at the airport should be on the lookout on the arrival if they by mistake or by error. Nigerians have been deported by the 24th of this month. At the airport, those Nigerian security operators should arrest those and cuff those pilots, and from there run them, put them on trial, put them on immediate trial, so that they could go to jail. And that for those pilots to free, Richard Branson, the airline has to pay some amount of money, to make sure that those time, life, miserable, the Nigerians miserable, you could pay for it.
Yeah.
And above all, you're asking this, that the way it is right now, that even the British police cannot come near Nigerian house, because Nigerian house is the home of Nigeria. Inside that UK, and that Nigerians coming back to their home to protest uprising, that they have no right to come near or to shoot a bullet or to fight because if they should do that, they will break down law and order.
Yep.
So now, what's your final message for Nigeria? Because what's your final message to Nigerians at home and Nigerians in UK and Nigerians in the whole world on this matter?
Well, my final message is that the International Bill of Patriot Mandate has unlocked the code of knowledge. So because it has unlocked the code of knowledge, it has told the story of justice already. So what will happen is that the federal government, the Nigerian government were given an ultimatum for 28th of September to make sure that they comply with the International Bill of Patriot Mandates. But they came in first week of November to make a pronouncement. But the propaganda, the decoy trap of Mr. Ngeri is that the deportation certificate has still been given. So my message simply means that Nigerian embassy, there's no compromise now. Nigerian embassy needs to be closed down immediately, first of all, because the uprising we see Nigeria is set on fire, and the fire will be burning. It's like you decide to burn your home. If the British government cannot, the British law does not enact into the Sovereignty Act, so the people will stand, because for the first time the government is their traitor. It's like burning people alive. In the olden days of ancient British, people are beheaded and people are burnt on the stake. So burning Nigeria house is burning Nigeria on the stake, because they are not traitors to their citizens. Rather than 1 million to be perished, one rather die. One becomes a sacred for the gods. So Nigerian government, yeah?
I said that if it's a small Buhari does not close down Nigerian embassy, the uprising by the Nigerian community in London will set ablaze Nigerian house in London.
Yes. So the only way, first of all, it must be closed. It must be shut out for the public. That's the only way first. It has to be shut off. Yes.
If the government refuses or delays by bureaucratic means in shutting down Nigerian embassy in London, then in some 2 hours, that the uprising of the people in Nigerian community, the angry Nigerian community who have been open up to the knowledge there, will set ablaze the Nigerian house.
Yeah, because Nigerian house is not fit to be a government. First of all, they got the International Bill of Patriot Mandate. I was only angry that they delayed for extra 6 weeks. So for the extra 6 weeks, all the Nigerians that have been deported in October, the lawyers, they should go and meet their various lawyers to bring in cases against the Nigerian government. and the payment money to settle them, so it will be the Ministry of External Affairs that will settle them compensation. So all the Nigerian lawyers like Keyamu, they should make their adverts known, advertise their firm, and make it they should advertise their firm, telling all Nigerians who has been deported for October can come and seek the service of solicitors in Nigeria. Because the fact that they had a mandate 28th of September and they pronounced it 1st of November shows that in 6 weeks more than even 5,000 Nigerians must have been deported. So those deported Nigerians who have a livelihood here but got deported because their government failed them, because their government now is their traitor, for the first time sanity must prevail. They need to now use their various lawyers to sue Ministry of External Affairs. So their payment remuneration will come from the Ministry of External Affairs for accounts, treasury account, to pay all those Nigerians who were deported from the 29th. Because the International Bill of Patriot Mandate was made known first week of September. So because of the sabotage and corruption, they thought it's still the regular game. They don't know that the game has changed. And that's what it is.
Is there any hotline? Because this thing is a serious, it's going to become a conflagration.
Yeah.
Is there any hotline? Nigerians in the world being traumatized by British crimes, by British people right now at this detention center, who are having issues with the British government, immigration, through the sheriff, working through the Bashar, working hand in hand with this in Gere and Obosi. Is there any number hotline, like the land office, that Nigerians can communicate directly with you, 24-hour hotline number?
Oh no, you see, the house of salvation is known to everybody. So they already know the commission. Messages come from the commission. The only thing is that the document that the Nigerian immigration would have been using to torment these people at times get sent to us. So through that we know what their covert operation is. So the truth is, since they've been calling for the last Thursday, there's really nothing I can do now, because like I said, when the greatest abuse is injustice, and injustice is chartered by law, it becomes a difficult situation. So that is why we have to use the international federalistic political approach to stop this obscenity once and for all. So the truth is that these boys do not know that I have given freedom to the people. The day I gave them the International Bill of Patriot Mandate, that day they already got their freedom. So if they call, I will just say to them, take the International Bill of Patriot Mandate, give it to the marshals, tell them this is your happy birthday. And the marshals have been releasing them since last week. But because the marshals have a bounty on their heads, don't forget that for every deported migrant, the marshal gets a commission. So it's a double commission. Ingere gets some money. The federal government puts a bounty on these blacks, because the blacks are like human bugs. So to get them out, the marshals have to be proved to be doing a job. So the marshal, for every deported migrant, the marshal also gets a bounty. They have bounty on their head. So the marshal gets their commission. Even the marshals, who has been going to the homes of all the Commonwealth people with a warrant, tormenting them. No immigration officer is giving a warrant, because it's a civil matter. But they go to their computer, print a warrant, and take it to the houses of these Commonwealth nations and start arresting them in their home. And when they come in with a warrant, the warrants are fake, because no court of the land will give them a warrant. It's a civil matter. The only people that have warrant is the police, in case they want to search your house or they have consign. But the marshals cannot even come to your house normally. So you find out that the marshals are escorted by the British police, and the British police are in a conspiracy with the marshal, because the only way the marshals could have operated could have been at the border. The marshals are police at the border to make sure nobody enters the country. But once you have been able to outsmart the border and you are in the country, the marshals have no right to take you out of the community, because you're already in. So it is a sad situation. I need to go and give you the letter. I've been fighting these wars of roses since 2008. So finally the marshals lost their contract in March of 2013. After my years of agony, not until after they've sent me to prison, but they didn't know that they were dealing with the greatest knowledge on earth. So when I came out of prison, the marshals thought the marshal conspired with the criminal justice system, they said I was not regulated to give immigration advice, because when I was fighting the marshals, petitioning the government, I said to the marshals, I decided to change my strategy. I said to the marshals, how many Nigerians have died in detention? How many Commonwealth people have died in detention? I got a letter from the general office of the marshal saying to me that since 1989 to 2008, 12 had died in detention. That 8 died of self-inflicted injury and 4 died as a result of manhandling. So I said to the head of the marshal, where were they buried and who are they? Because their families need to know. We need to compensate them. Their families still think their children are alive. Their children are already dead. So the marshals released a letter to me saying that 12 only died, and I know it is more than 12. So as I was seeking to know the grave, to be the voice of the dead, and to let their family know they are dead, they do not exist anymore. The marshals saw this was help for them, and because they were running the biggest contract, they had the biggest. When the marshals set me up and sent me to prison, and when I came out of prison, I came out bloody. This time around, I had so much power. I now transform into a political party, so I could have the power not only to ignore the ruling government who have lost their mythology, but the power to now protect my people as a beast. And for the first time, the might of the Commonwealth Liberation Party was formed. Today, opposition party ruling party can do their thing. We just ignore them because they lack political mythology, so they are illiterates. So I'm going to give you the 2 letters. The one that Oniwo begged me, I wrote a political diplomatic letter for them for the first time, which was put on Nigerian government letterheaded, and they revoked the deportation. And the ones that the marshal declared that 12 people died. So if 12 died, and out of 12, 4 is as a result of the manhandling, then if your officers killed 4 because of excessive force, who are they? Where are they? Where did you bury them? What is their name? We need to search for their properties. We need to tell their family. We need to compensate their family who is looking up to their children. Many Nigerians have died and missing. Their parents says, I've not heard from my children. So we don't even know who they are and where are the deaths. Since 2008, marshals lost their conduct. Nigerians don't even know who have been fighting their battles, because those who fight your battles, you don't know. All those who have been smiling and shining since 2009, they don't even know why they got paper. They don't know when the marshals saw that the Nigerian government seized operation through Oniwo, not Ogosi, because Ogosi was not brave enough to even talk to me anymore. So Oniwo has been begging for Ogosi. So Nigerian embassy stopped giving a deportation certificates. Then guess what the marshal did? The marshal went into their computer system and designed a deportation document. And in that deportation document, a Nigerian guy is named Enesa Vance. Enesa Vance was being deported to Cameroon. Enesa Vance is not a Cameroonian, but because Nigerian government will no longer issue deportation, the marshals did a document. They put European Union logo on the left hand side and they put British logo on the right hand side. The document they were not supposed to give to Enesa Vance, but stupidly they did not know when they faxed it to Enes. So Enes sent it to me, and I could not imagine, because Nigerian High Commission will not give deportation. This marshal created a falsified document, but because they were not smart, they were putting UK logo and EU logo. So I got the document and I did a 25 pages question to the then government of Gordon Brown. I need answers. What is the relationship between EU and British? Why would you be deporting a Nigerian man to Cameroon? A Nigerian stamp is not there. Cameroonian stamp is not there. Rather, I'm seeing EU logo and British logo. What is happening? The controversy of that document saw 3,000 Nigerians giving their papers. This is why they collide and send me to prison. But they didn't know that prison was the beginning of a test of my readiness for freedom for the people. He didn't do me anything. Rather, I went to prison to sniff the cell and came out with the answers to the world. That's why I told people, I paid the price for you. I've gone to prison for you not to go to prison. I've been humiliated and abused. Everything I love taken away from me, just to stop me from fighting for justice for the people. But it didn't deter me. Today I have a political party. Today I have a voice. Today I have a voice of authority to get justice for the people of the Commonwealth without even compromise. Yeah, next one. Okay, hold on. So that is the letter. So I finally uploaded it because since I saw that these boys are outlaw bandits, they could set everywhere on fire because they never even know how strong I would be, or they even know the strength in me. I decided to put all these things for the people. So that even though everywhere was on fire, this document will survive. So the UKBA death affirmation. This was when the marshals, the head of the marshals, affirmed that 12 people died, and 4 death came from them. The voices of those dead, we don't know them. Their families don't even know they are dead. We don't even know where their properties are. So that is that letter.
What about the UKBA appeals and forced deportation?
Yes, so basically, there's the one. So you have the UK Border Agency death request. So that was the letter we are requesting to know the death toll. So UK Border Agency and forced deportation. This is the document that exposed Ogosi, that was sent to the British government. This was the document that led to the marshals to lose their contract. That is the document. So the only one I'm going to get for you now is the letter that Nigerian government will revoke the deportation, which was the diplomatic letter that Oniwo begged me to write for them, and they put it on the Nigerian government letterheaded paper. Everything is, but it's only a few that are smart that will go there, but I put everything out. So that the 3 documents you need to understand the I don't even know what to head this. The insanity. Oh, I've given you all the document. Now that's all the 3. So the only one is when Oniwo did not want Ogosi to lose his job, he begged me that they would work with me to revoke the deportation. No, so you have the UKBA death affirmation. That's letter that they said they killed 12 people died since 1989. Because I was asking, I set up a diseased persons alert unit. Nigerians need to know their children are dying abroad, being killed by marshals with the aid of Nigerian embassies. So I requested to know the death toll. So the UKBA first death affirmation is one they confirmed that 12 had died since 1989 to 2008. 8 died as a result of killing themselves. 4 was a result of the officers killing them. So we need to actually, even though if 12 had died, which we know is definitely more than that, and is where are the grave of the 12? We need to know now. Where are their clothes? Where are their properties? Where is the money to pay their family? Though the UKBA forced deportation was when I exposed the conspiracy going on between Nigerian government and British immigration marshals. That letter was sent to the British government, and the British government swing into operation. This UKBA forced deportation was what led to the marshals to lose their contract. So I'm the one that made the marshals lose their contract, because my letters caused so much diplomatic confusion amongst them. So that was why the marshals set me up and I went to prison.
Oh, 2008, right?
Yes, so that UKBA forced deportation was sent to the British government, and the British government swung into action, and the marshals finally lost their contract after 6 years, because it was 2008 I started attacking the marshals that they don't know anything. The government should revoke the contract. A proper state force should be allowed to manage the border. So that letter is the secret of that letter is what led to the marshals actually finally, because the UK Border Agency the government finally revoked the marshals contract. But when the government revoked the marshals contract in October, so the owner of the contract, who is an American, because Iseko lost the contract, but the marshals are still employed. So Home Office, Secretary of State made a blunder. Rather than sacking the marshals and their headship and all the staffs of the marshal, she sacked the head of the marshal and she retained all the staff. It's like me taking over your company, retaining the staff. The staff are still as bad as the head. That is why the abuse is still going on, because Secretary of State is not smart and it's not about to purify the whole system. The marshals have lost their contract. So but rather the state employed the staffs of the marshal to be working under them, and the marshals are still continuing their evil, because if the head is not there, the boys of the marshal still have the spirit of the marshals, the head of the marshal. So the evil is still going on even when the marshals have lost their contract, because there's no more UK Border Agency. You now have Home Office enforcement officers. So the marshals, the UK Border Agency has now been transformed to the Home Office enforcement officers, and the Home Office enforcement officers is indirectly the marshals. We're going to need financial statement from Ogosi era, for Ogosi operations in 2008. Ogosi left another Ingeri and another man. took over. These boys are crazy, man. So before I was working with the British government, it was when I saw that how can I be working in the British government? The marshals are terrorizing me. Because of the marshals were terrorizing me, I set up the Protectorate Police Commission. The marshals kept shopping around from police station to police station to get officers to arrest me. No officers could touch me in this country. I was so strong, I decided to name IDC Kalakuta Republic. That was just the word to let you police cannot enter there. It was in a covert operation. The marshal got 20 police officers to raid my office. That in my eye, when the police officers saw that I was too knowledgeable, the police officer took a phone and told the marshal, we cannot play this game anymore. You guys should find a way to deal with this woman yourself. It was then I realized that the British police force themselves is corrupt. That was when I decided to set up a police for the Protectorate, for the Commonwealth nation, which is called the Protectorate Police Commission today. That was how the Protectorate Police Commission emanated. Police officers, the marshals were shopping around from police station to police station. They will go and bring police from Westminster. If those ones cannot arrest me, they will go to Besley. Different police officers are coming, but when they come, the meat in me, the knowledge in me controls them. You see them walking away. Until the last day, they sent about 22 officers. These officers, I stood up to them. The officers, I was just unbreakable. The officers, when they come, I become their teacher. They realized for the first time they met a knowledge that taught them the social service studies they did not have. For the first time in my very eye, the Plumstead police officer who led the battalion said in my eyes, he took a walkie-talkie, he called the marshals. He said, boys, we can no longer play this game. You guys should find a way to deal with this woman yourself. We are out of this game. That was the beginning of the Protectorate Police Commission. Then I realized, wow, you mean that what happens in Nigeria, that somebody will just go and hire police officers happen here? It was time to set up the PPC to protect the Commonwealth nation, because these marshal boys are all deadly. All because there is bounty on the heads of these people. The government doesn't even know what they are doing. That's the sad thing.
Yes. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. One more time. Serious business. Boom. I fear not the fight, I fight. I fear the strength I used to fight. When I read my fight for integrity, the future's not guaranteed. The tears I share is salty. Those who shares it, feels it most. I will not wait for my blanket to turn gray. Oh Lord, give me the strength to carry on. While I'm a strong man, ready to fight. I'm a strong man, fighting for my rights and justice. I'm a strong man, ready to fight. Oh, I'm a strong man, fighting for my rights and justice. Boom. My people stand for the right of your justice. I tell you, fear not the reason why you stand. Yeah. Humiliation, manipulation, no cheating. No cheating. It tells you get ready to be a man. The leaders that lead today, those who lead today will lead tomorrow. I will not wait for my head to turn gray. Oh Lord, so give me the power to carry on. No. I'm a strong man, ready to fight. I'm a strong man, fighting for my rights and justice. I'm a strong man, ready to fight. I'm a strong man, fighting for my rights and justice. I'm a strong man, fighting for my right. Can you help me sing? Can you hear the children call? I'm a strong man, fighting for my right. Wake up, stand up. I'm a strong man, ready to fight. another fight to fight. The fear the strength I used to fight. When I read my fight for integrity, the future's not guaranteed. The tears I shed is salty. Those who shares it feels it most. I will not wait for my black hair to turn gray. Oh Lord, give me the strength to carry on. While I'm a strong man, ready to fight. I'm a strong man, fighting for my rights and justice. I'm a strong man, ready to fight. Oh, I'm a strong man, fighting for my rights and justice. Boom. My people stand for the right of your justice. I tell you, fear not the reason why you stand. Yeah. Humiliation, manipulation, no cheating. It tells you get ready to be a man. The leaders that lead today, those who lead today will lead tomorrow. I will not wait for my head to turn gray. Oh Lord, so give me the power to carry on. I'm a strong man, ready to fight. I'm a strong man, fighting for my rights and justice. I'm a strong man, ready to fight. I'm a strong man, fighting for my rights and justice. I'm a strong man, fighting for my right. Can you help me sing?